And go.
Yay!
Yay.
Welcome. How are you?
Patty, long time no see.
All right, so I'm dying to hear your story. I really am. I have no idea what brought you into this. And
Not?
no,
For reals?
yeah.
Wait.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'm dying to know.
Okay. So about 12 years ago it's been 11 years ago. I've always been a fitness person. I was a dancer, an ice skater. So I've always worked out. I've always exercised. I taught step aerobics. I taught aerobics in high school. I taught aerobics in college. Yeah, I've always been a super fitness person. I've always loved to lift weights and all this stuff. And so when I got pregnant with Mason, I weighed 98 pounds. I gained 48 pounds with him. So it was half of me pretty much that I gained. And lost it. I did okay, but I was younger. I was like 29, So then got pregnant with Molly 5 years later, gained 52 pounds. I was 106 when I got pregnant. I gained 52 pounds, again, about half of me, and which was lovely. And then I had 22 pounds to lose when I left the hospital. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm fine. So I had some issues.
Pounds in the hospital.
I did. I lost 30 pounds in the hospital. A lot of it was water. So when she was I had some problems right after she was born, but that turned out. So when she was 7 months old, I went to my doctor and I said, I need to have my thyroid tested because I had my thyroid tested before. And I thought, well, I haven't, it's been a really long time. So it had been 7 months because they tested it while I was pregnant. And I hadn't had it tested. And so she tested and she called me and she's like, you need to go to the pharmacy right now and get thyroid medication. Your thyroid does not work. And as it turned out, all those problems that I was having right after she was born were actually due to my thyroid. And I had a thyroid storm. So my thyroid went super overactive and I had really high blood pressure and all this other stuff. And then it killed it. It like burned it out.
Oh my.
And so then I had hypothyroid. So I was like, oh, that must be my problem. That must be why I'm not losing the weight. Nope. Went on medication, didn't do anything. Nothing changed with my weight. So it was just that I was fat. So whatever. So
You haven't got the medicine? What happened with that?
I got on medication, but it didn't help me lose weight. It just made me feel better, which was good. What?
Are you still on medicine?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. My thyroid doesn't work at all. It's non-functional.
Wow.
So I'm constantly fighting hypothyroidism, like every day. I mean, it's always a thing. So anyway, so one day I've been going to the gym and I had been paying for a personal trainer. I've been going to all the group classes. I was eating really healthy. I'm a vegetarian, so I was eating super healthy, blah, blah, blah. Nothing was happening. Still got 22 pounds to lose. I had not lost an ounce. Okay. So she was about 18 months old or a year old. And a friend of mine she's like 18 months old. A friend of mine I was telling her about this and I was complaining. She's like, I'm going to bring you something tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So this is 11 years ago. This is before Beachbody had a network. Okay. This is the coaching network didn't exist. So she's like, I'm going to bring this to you. I was like, fine, bring it to me. So she brings me this huge thing of VHS tapes and it was P90X. And she's like, right? She's like, do this. And she brings me the videos and hands them to me. I'm like, okay, fine. So I did it for a couple of days and I thought, well, this is really cool. I really like it. I enjoy exercising and this is my kind of working out. And I love Tony Horton and Riot. So I bought it for myself and I did 90 days, lost 22 pounds.
Oh my God. You're kidding me.
Nope. So that's how I found Beachbody. So I told myself, I will never go back to the gym. That is the dumbest thing on the planet. It's so expensive.
Wow.
I don't need a gym. Huh?
You told this?
Who? To who? I tell it to people when I talk to them on the phone,
No, on Facebook.
Oh, no, probably not. See?
I don't know.
This is why we're doing this, right?
Oh my God, there's like 5 stories within that story.
That's why we're doing this, so that we can do that and piece it up into little stories, right?
Seriously, there's 5 stories. That's huge.
So, okay. So I decided that I wasn't going to do anything anymore, no gyms anymore, and that I was just going to do Beachbody programs. And so I have done Beachbody Fitness.
What were you spending? Can I ask you, what were you spending with a personal trainer at the gym?
So $110 a month for the gym membership and then $70 a pop for the personal trainer twice a week.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a huge post.
Right? So, okay. So I was doing that, and then, yeah, that didn't work. And so I'd just been doing Beachbody fitness forever. And I have been telling everybody and their dog, because they'll be like, oh my gosh, you look so good. How is it that you look so good? And what are you doing? And what's blah, blah. So I've always been like, oh, you should.
That's a lot on your frame. A lot.
Yeah, it is. It is on my, yeah, because I'm super petite. So, but I started telling people, oh my gosh, you should totally do this workout, do this workout. And so I've been a Beachbody coach for a really long time. The funny thing is that I got an email, I got phone calls from Beachbody back in the day, because I had always been buying their DVDs, and they said, we have a coaching network, you should join our coaching network. I'm like, dumbass.
Oh God.
Right? I know. Dumbass.
You'd be like a founding coach.
I could have been if I'd have said yes, but I didn't. So there's that. Anyway, so 3.5 years ago, for February 22nd of 2000, and you know what's funny?
I can't believe we're that close.
Do you know what's funnier? Guess where I was when I became a coach? Florida.
You were?
I was at Disney World. I was at Disney World, and I was fed up with my job, and I was like, you know what? Something has to change. Everybody keeps talking about this coaching thing. I'm just going to do it. So I did it. And I sold my first challenge pack that night to my mommy. Because she had been doing Beachbody stuff too. So she'd been doing Beachbody fitness stuff. She's been doing it now for 8 years. Ever since Molly was 4. So she's been doing Beachbody fitness too. So she was like, what? You've got this shake stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never used it. Let's try it. And so we both did. And we were like, oh my gosh, the best stuff ever. Blah, blah, blah. So, so that's how I got into coaching, is that I decided, you know, I'm already doing this. I should do it for real, and like really do it and tell people about this and make it a thing. And so that's actually why that's why I became a Beachbody coach. I wasn't drinking Shakeology then, so it wasn't for the discount. It really was just strictly to help people, to get the word out about how awesome I feel and how awesome I want everybody else my age to feel, because you don't have to just wallow in your crap and feel like junk just because you're over 40. You don't have to. It's your choice. You can choose to, but you don't have to. And there's really easy ways to do it. And that's something that I really like, is that this is not complicated. Not complicated.
No, it's not. People make it more complicated than it is. But
right? That's actually one of the things that pisses me off.
Oh, hang on. What's this? Hang on. Oh, you know what? Let me walk.
What?
I just had a pop up of.
Oh.
My recording was done downloading.
Oh, nice. Good.
What do you think your theme is? Like, if you were to have a theme about your story, what do you think your theme is? Can you?
I read that question and didn't think about it. I know yours is positivity. I would say that I mean, I'm a librarian, you know, at heart. That's what my day job is, and I love my job, and I love being a librarian. And I would say that one of the things that distinguishes me from other people, I think, is a knowledge base, and that I do like to tell people data. Like the theme of my story would be, these things work and here's why. And it's not just because it worked for me and because I'm unique. Well, I am unique. We're all unique, but it's not because it just worked for me. But there's so much science behind everything that Beachbody does, behind their nutrition, behind their fitness, everything that they do. There's so much research behind it, which is so me. So I really, you know, grab onto that. And I would say the theme for me is information and sharing information. And that's what I do on Facebook. But sometimes people are like, I don't really like the information. It's kind of boring.
I'm going to throw this in to your talk, because it didn't come to me until just now, but it might help both of us. The one thing that I didn't think about of why I would be a good coach, and I think you will fall into this category as well, so it'll help us both, is that we're both really good listeners. And I think that you have to be a good listener. You have to get people to talk and tell you what they're feeling and why they're struggling, and what you know, and listen, and truly listen, not just have a solution before they even tell you what their problems are.
Mm-hmm.
Jump the gun, and they already have in their head what they want to say before they even hear the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you probably are very, very good at that as well, is coming across, like I said, I really care.
Mm-hmm.
What I should have said was, I'm a really good listener.
Yeah, I would agree with that about you.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
and I mean, I think there's two things about that. One is that yeah, I do feel like I'm relatable, to people. Um, and it doesn't matter who you are for the most part. You don't have to be my avatar to relate to me. I think there's so many things about my life and everything that are relatable, that are real,
You're just real.
just that are real. And so I think that
Well, you're
that's
real. But Kim, you're real.
yeah.
Not all this made up fluffy stuff. You're just real. Yeah.
And I think so that makes me relatable, but I think people are comfortable with that. And maybe that's the better theme for me would be
You're
comfort,
real.
that people are comfortable with me and they're comfortable telling me random stuff that, about their hormones and about the weird
Well, I think we probably both had that in common because people do unload. I mean, yeah, the people
big
tell me
time.
because you
Big
know why?
time.
Because why? Because they trust us.
Right. Yeah, right. Relatable, trustworthy. I mean, I think that's the theme.
We
But
just
I think it but
don't
I
talk
think
about both of us. It's
But I
cool.
think in order to be relatable and trustworthy, you have to be knowledgeable. And I think that's one thing that both of us do really, really well is that we do know our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you've been like repressing anything, like repressing any passion, or do you think you let it all shine? Do you think you?
No, I'm pretty what you see is what you get kind of thing. Like I don't hold anything back.
Yeah.
And maybe I do a little bit on Facebook, but like when I'm in my groups and stuff with people, they know me. Like I don't hold anything back. I mean, I hold things back on people because they can't handle certain things, but in terms of what people know about me, I don't think I hold anything back there. I'm pretty good about that.
Right. So this is kind of hard, but and then this doesn't. I don't think this applies really. Some of these.
I know I kind of skipped over some of them too. But we'll tell you something that I don't talk about a lot on Facebook, and it's probably something you don't know. So this might be interesting to you. Is that so when I have three really big health issues. Four really. One of them is my thyroid, but whatever. The second one is when I was about 22, I started to have some anxiety issues, and it turns out that I have a pretty raging case of panic and anxiety disorder. And one of the things that actually helps my panic and anxiety a lot is actually exercise. And I've been through lots and lots and lots of therapy to get rid of it, but you never really get rid of a mental disorder. Like people don't want to call it that, but mental illness, I don't care what you call it. You really don't ever get rid of it. It's always there somewhere. It's just a matter of what you do with it. And I've learned through therapy how to deal with it. But one of the things that really, really, truly helps me is fitness, is exercise, is just being able to get myself moving and that sort of thing. So there's that. So I talked about panic and anxiety.
Let me ask you. Could you talk about that
Yeah, I'm super open about it.
on Facebook?
Super. Yeah, I'll mention it in posts here and there, but I am super, super open about it. And the reason why is because I feel like I was saddled with panic and anxiety disorder to help other people who have panic disorder. To be able to help them get through their issues, because you can get to the other side. There is another side, and it's way better than being right in the middle. I used to have 4 panic attacks a day. It was bad. It was really bad at one point.
That's huge for your life page. Huge.
Yeah, yeah. So that, and then when I was about the same time, and it's probably somewhat related, I got another really good case of IBS that I've never really gotten rid of until about 4 years ago, 3 years, no, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Started drinking Shakeology. I kid you not, it totally fixed my stomach. There were some other things involved too, but it was really the kicker. It was really the big change. And I think it's the anti-inflammatory foods. My stomach was just such a mess. And so I do struggle a little bit with IBS just because, again, it's not something that really goes away. It's just something that you learn how to deal with and
Yeah.
manage it. So, so thyroid,
Huge.
fourth one. I don't know. But those are like my major kind of issues. And I think that also makes me relatable too, because I think a lot of people don't want to talk about poop.
Or anxiety. Yeah.
Oh, I love talking about poop. Um, but yeah, the anxiety thing's huge. And I think so many people struggle with it. And
Oh,
definitely something that I have been there, done that for sure. You know, and my, I will tell you this too. This is really interesting. The thing that has helped me the most in terms of, since I've been on the other side of anxiety though, in terms of relaxing and not being so tense all the time and being able to let go of things, is riding a horse. They're so therapeutic. But seriously, because when I'm on my current horse, my new horse, if I'm tense, she gets pissed. She doesn't like it. And she tells me, "You are tense. Stop it." She starts bucking. And I don't like being bucked off. So I have to relax my body, and to be able to notice when that my body is tense. I never had that awareness before I started riding horses. So the awareness of my tense places in my body has come from riding. But I can now translate it to, I'm driving to a meeting that's going to be stressful to me. Where am I tense? Let it go. I can do that now, which I didn't have that capability before I started riding horses.
Now that's huge, and that's
pretty cool.
Really relatable, and you can totally turn that into
a lot of different things, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, let's write some posts on this.
I know.
So I mean, we talked about your why. I mean, so your why for becoming a Beachbody coach is because you were already coaching. Mm-hmm. Why not pay it forward?
Right.
So to speak. And you know, I started thinking about that too when you started talking about that, because when Shay told me she was doing it, and I tried Shakeology for a month, and I didn't get it. Like I didn't get it. But I was sending people to her. Go to her. Go to Shay. She'll help you like with this and that, whatever. And I'm like, what am I doing? I sent like 10 people to her.
Right.
No. So like what have you guys as a family been able to experience through Beachbody? Like what opportunities has it afforded you guys?
Right. So, I mean, I think, you know, why I became a coach is different than why I'm still a coach. I mean, not really. I still like helping people, and that's kind of like but I mean, none of us are in this business. None of us are not in this business to help people. If we didn't want to help people, we wouldn't be doing it. So that's not the same. Everybody has that why. That's part of everybody's why. But, you know, now it's really, my why is one word. It's freedom. I want the freedom, the financial freedom, the time freedom, the freedom to make my own choices and to be where I want to when I want to, which is really time. So it's really just financial and time. I want to have the financial freedom to be able to do whatever I want to offer my kids whatever I want to you know, potentially have my husband not work anymore. I mean, all those things. That's what I want. But you asked what we could do, what we have been doing. Well, a lot of it's travel, but a lot of it is also being able to offer my kids opportunities whenever they want them. So if my daughter wants to go and do a different, like she just finished her point series in August for writing, and then she wanted to do the interscholastic writing, and it's expensive. All horse stuff is expensive. It's ridiculous. If you put the word equestrian in it, it becomes really expensive. So I can say to her, sure, let's do that. You know, or, you know, we're going to go to Mexico, and I can say, I'll buy the plane tickets. I have the money to do that. We're going to go to Maine next week. And I told my husband, let me pay for Mason to go visit another school. In 2 weeks. But, you know, where I can say, okay, well, let me pay for the car. You know, stuff like that I been able to do before. Or, you know, paying for Mason, like I bought Mason a boat. I bought, you know, paid for most of his sailing instruction this summer. He paid for some of it, but I made him. That kind of stuff, for just the freedom. And then all of our horse stuff, like, so all of my board for my horses, for my 3 horses, all of lessons, everything, that all comes out of my Beachbody money. So it's just given, I think the biggest thing, to be honest with you, is it's given me freedom, but it's also given my husband freedom, because he doesn't feel like he's constantly being like, oh, can I have another $100 here? Can I have $100 there? You know, I'm like, I kind of got this under control now. And so it's relieved some of the pressure in our marriage too.
That's huge.
Which is nice.
Huge. Oh my gosh, that's a huge point.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are all big talking points for sure.
Right. And I never talk about stuff like that.
I know. Neither one of us. I know.
At least we have things to talk about.
So what is your ideal team member? I'm dying to know.
My ideal coach would be somebody that wants to run with me. You know, like I have some awesome coaches, and they do want to run, but their lives are tough too. But I want somebody to come alongside me and go, okay, let's go, and just yeah. But you know, not and my coaches are pretty independent, really. They don't need me very much. And they actually constantly tell me, you give us too much information, make us work harder. So I would say that my ideal coach really probably already exists on my team, which is cool. I have a few of them, but that they want to lock arms and just go, but not need constant hand holding, which they don't. My current coaches that I'm thinking of don't need constant hand holding. And I love that. They're on their own path. They're very independent, and that's something else that I really like. And I think that's what you and I are, and I think that's why it's hard for us to deal with people who say they want the business, but then they need their hand held all the time because they're not independent. I have a hard time dealing with that. You want to talk about something that pisses me off? People who won't just take the initiative and do stuff. I don't care what it's about, whether it's about your fitness, whether it's about your nutrition, whether it's about being a Beachbody coach, whether it's about confronting somebody. I don't care. I'm just saying, I don't like that. I can't stand that when people will not just do what they need to do. Like, just do the thing. Like, I say that to people all the time. Like, people come to me and talk to me, and I'm like, just do it. I don't know what else to tell you. I can't make you do it. I can't make you do the thing that you need to do. So just do it. But that would be my ideal person, somebody. But like I said, I've already got some of those. They're awesome. And I, we just, and they're in this team, social team builder. So they are doing the thing.
Who is?
Kimberly. Well, Kimberly is, but Heather's actually not doing social team builder because about 2 months ago, she hired a marketing person who's working directly with her. She's an online marketing person that's a friend of hers. So she's kind of doing the same thing we're doing, but she's doing it with one person. Wow. So she's basically doing it. But yeah, like that, like people who are like, I want it so bad that I want it bad enough that I can go run by myself. Wow. Be with you too. Like, that's what I want. And I've already got that. Like I said, I've already got that. I just need more of them.
I know. Well, I mean, Julie did this
right
4 months ago on her own.
Right. I know. See, we've already got them. We just need more of them. We just need 10 of them, 15 of them.
Yeah.
To be on the right size at the right time, make 15 star.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think you're equipped to help new team members come on? Like, do you feel like you've got what you need to bring people up to where they need?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think sometimes, yes, I do think that, but sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes I don't think I'm a very good leader. And I struggle with that a little bit, and I'm okay with it, but I've never had to lead. I was a college professor, and now I'm a librarian by myself in a library. I've never had to be a leader. I'm a leader of my family, in my family. My husband's a leader, but I'm a leader in my family at times, and I have moments of leadership, but I've never had to study leadership. So I think sometimes I struggle with my mindset there, thinking that I actually am decent at leading, because sometimes I'm like, I suck at this. And my whole thing is, I want to lead by example. I just want people to run with me. I want people to do what I do. But I don't think that's really, and I thought that was a really great way to lead, but it's really not. There's so many things that I need to do to make myself better as a leader. But in terms of having the information, in terms of having the groups, yes, I think I've got all that. I've got it all on paper, I should say. But, in terms of really being able to do that, sometimes I feel like I struggle a little bit. But for the most part, no, I've got all the stuff.
We're pretty much twins on that.
Right. On a lot of things.
We're almost identical on that.
Right.
I will never tout and say I'm this great leader. I always thought lead by example as well. And
yeah, that's all I got. That's my toolbox right there.
I'm wrong here. So since you've been a Beachbody coach, what do you think the most difficult thing that you've faced? just since you've been a coach, like what have you overcome,
Mm.
not in your past life, but what have you overcome? Like what struggles got you like to the next level? What kept you going? What kept you going?
Well, I mean, I think at times I have struggled with my weight because I fight my thyroid constantly, and I fight my perimenopause now. That's good times. And my hormones constantly. And like this summer, I sat on my butt a lot just because I still exercised, did all the things, right? But I traveled a lot, and a lot of my travel involved me sitting down, like going to Beachbody Conference and then coming home for a day and then turning around and going to take Molly to Pony Club Nationals. And I literally sat all day, every day at that Pony Club thing for 7 days. And I worked out every morning, but I still went and then sat all day for 7 hours. So after about 2 weeks, I gained about 8 pounds, which is not, which is not, but you know what? It's not terribly untypical for me because of my thyroid and my hormones now. But however, I knew what was going on in my body. I knew that I didn't like what I looked like. And I was like, oh my gosh, who would want me to coach them? Because have you seen my belly? And this is 3 years into my coaching journey, So, but the cool thing is that I said to myself, you know what? Something needs to change. So what am I going to do? Well, I knew Shift Shop was out and I knew the eating plan was there and I was super excited to try it and I did it. And then in 21 days, I lost every single pound. All 8 pounds of it. And I've never lost weight that fast.
I think I saw, you did do a post on that and you had good results, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. That I talked about. That's actually the first time that I ever showed any of my body on Facebook, that post.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It was good.
So, and now, doing it once, and I mean, I'm not like modest or anything. I go around wearing a bikini on the beach and I wear, little shorts around town all the time. I'm not shy about my body, but I don't know why. I just felt like it was weird. And so that was a big turning point for me actually, because now I'm like, I've already done it once. I'm just going to do it a whole bunch. So it's not nearly as scary anymore.
I agree. And I mean, I run some stuff by my husband. Like I did a bikini shot of me like laying back.
I remember that one.
Of it, and he's like, "Why are you self-conscious?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, because I don't want people to look at me and go, oh, whatever." Like I worry about what people think.
Yeah.
And I got more private messages from that than anything. I mean,
yeah. Sometimes I feel like it'll turn people the other direction because they'll be like, "Why would I want to go with her when she looks like that?"
Yeah, I know.
So
we got to figure out a way to word it so it doesn't,
That's something we need to work on together, I think.
Yeah. Because we're both in the same thing. So I think I know what pisses you off.
People piss me off. No, I'm just kidding. No. No, I think a lot of the same stuff that pisses you off, but one thing is that lack of independence. Like that's something that it bothers me with my kids, my husband. The thing in terms of this business that pisses me off is actually people who say they're ready to do something and then they won't dig in and do it. And then they call and they complain and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not losing weight, blah, blah. And so like this happened recently. Somebody called me over the weekend during the week and she's like, nothing's happening. And I'm like, okay, let's deconstruct. And she's like, well, I'm doing the workouts, I'm drinking the shakes. I'm like, okay, what are you eating? And she's like, well, I'm really good for about 4 days of the week. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I eat whatever I want. And I'm like, that pisses me off.
Yeah. So
like, don't do that. Yeah. Follow the plan, man. It's set for you for a reason. Like that kind of stuff makes me mad. It's like when people are like so ready for something and then they're like, nah. And I would say the same thing. You said it too. But I would say the same thing about the technology part is that, I'm not a graphic artist. I'm not super creative in that way. I'm not crafty. So like that doesn't come naturally to me. And what else pisses me off? I don't like spending money. You know that about me. So I don't want to go spending money on something that's not going to get me anywhere. So joining this is the first time I have paid for a training in 3.5 years of being a coach. So I don't like spending money when I'm not gonna have a return on investment. I'm super dollar like numbers driven. So I don't like that.
So basically you can't understand like me when someone invests $160 in All Access and Shakeology and they don't put in the work.
That pisses me off. And that's a money thing too. It's like, why would you spend the money on that when you're just going to sit on it and do nothing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, if you buy it, do it. And I try really hard not to get pissed off at people, but like, it's hard. It's really hard for me. And like the eating plans, oh my gosh, could they be any easier? And then people are like, it's too hard. I have to plan. I'm like, oh my gosh, how bad do you want to lose weight? How bad do you want to lose that 72 pounds? Not so bad. Don't eat Chex Mix.
Or goldfish or whatever.
Pretty easy.
All right, so I got to know this. I'm going to answer. Okay, I got to ask you. What keeps you up at night? Anything?
Oh, yeah. There's some things that keep me up at night. One of them is my kids. Not because they keep me up because they don't sleep, but they're 17 and 12, and their stuff keeps me up at night. I'll tell you what one of the big things that keeps me up at night is, and I know what the answer to it is. College. The fact that Mason's about to leave for college, and it's going to likely cost us about $50,000 a year. That's $200,000. I don't have $200,000 sitting around. I just don't. I don't know where that's going to come from, and I'm super stressed out about it, and that keeps me up at night right now.
That's a huge incentive.
It's a big deal. Yeah. That keeps me up at night.
All right. We need to get you to 4,000 a week, like.
Right. I know. I need to hit it.
4,000 a week.
4,000 a week would be lovely. I'd be able to pay for a couple people's college. But that keeps me up at night because it stresses me out. I have learned though through lots and lots of therapy not to be kept up at night anymore. So when you say what keeps you up at night, I would say nothing, because I've worked really, really hard to not have that happen to me. Yeah, my kids, number one. The second thing that keeps me up at night is my animals. I'm so passionate about my animals, and when something's wrong with them, I don't sleep well. Just because I'm constantly worried about them, and I don't have my horses live, 5 miles away from me. So when something's wrong with them, and I don't sleep. Like the whole time that Molly's horse was sick for the first 2 or 3 weeks, when it was like touch and go, like, is she going to live? Is she not? Is she going to live? Is she not? I did not sleep. Did not sleep at all. I think that's probably why I gained some weight too, because I didn't sleep. That my animals, that keeps me up at night. And there's a few people in my life that I care so much about what they think of me that if I'm on bad terms with them, that keeps me up at night. It's about 3 people. I don't really care about what the rest of the world thinks about me except for these 3 people. And one of them matters a lot because it's my mommy. The other one is a friend of mine that I really should care less about, but for some reason, she gets under my skin very easily. And I will, like OCD, that was the other thing I didn't tell you about. I have OCD. I was diagnosed with OCD when I was about 27, which is part of the panic and anxiety disorder. They go hand in hand. Some people don't have OCD that have panic, and some people have panic and not OCD. I have both. Gifted. So I deal with my OCD in a constructive way now, for the most part, in the sense that I use it to get stuff done. But it also backfires on me sometimes when I think about things and then I can't stop thinking about them. That's the OCD. But this one particular person, when she's upset with me or I've done something to piss her off, which is typically the case, it's almost like she's my sister. We're so close that we're like sisters, but we literally get along like sisters. And so that stuff keeps me up at night. But the biggest thing right now is Mason and his college. That keeps me that's scaring the crap out of me for a lot of reasons, not just because that is the 3rd time that Jim has gone to the refrigerator.
Oh no, what are you getting, honey?
In this time. But that it keeps me up at night. So I do. That's a big carrot for me. Big.
That is a huge carrot.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you think you live up to other people's expectations, or does that even matter to you?
Wait, say that again.
Do you feel like you need to live up to people's expectations, or does that matter at all to you?
No, I could care less. Except for my kids.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And that's something you can ask anybody who knows me really well. You could say, does Kim care about what other people, I'm not a people pleaser. And
That's
you
really
know,
big.
it's a good thing for me, but, I think it's a positive and a negative. It's a positive in the sense that I don't care what other people think of me, so I don't care. But it's a negative and for the same reason. I don't care what other people think of me. So sometimes the things that come out of my mouth probably shouldn't have come out of my mouth because I don't care what people think of me. If I need to say something, I'm going to say it. So I feel I've never, ever, ever in my life felt like I had to live up to anybody's expectations. But I do think about my kids and what their expectations of me as a mother is. That I do want to live up to.
Well, I think that's cool. You've got so much of a story. You've got so many.
See, and I don't even feel like I do.
You do. You have so much of a story. I mean, I can't wait for you to go back and listen to this.
Well, okay, so yeah, we'll talk about the transcribing thing because I think we both need to do that because I think we both have the same thing in the sense that we think we don't have a story. Because we didn't grow up and have a weird background. We didn't have something traumatic happen to us. We didn't have divorced parents. I mean, we just don't have, like, my parents are still married like yours are. They get along, like, it's crazy. I don't have that. I have my little brother is 6 years younger than me.
Same as me. I love him.
Love him to pieces.
Adore him.
I got nothing. So my story really doesn't start with my past. My story starts from about the time that I was like 22, 25 when I started getting this panic and anxiety stuff, but then really kicks into gear when I started losing weight because of Molly.
I think a lot of that is going to be a good part of your story that people can relate to. I really, really do. And I didn't talk at all about, and I know this is not, we're recording this, but about menopause and about how much that.
Oh, I didn't talk about that either. Whew, really. I mean, I mentioned it, but.
No. So, I mean,
and I think that's what makes us relatable though, because you don't have a choice. If you're a chick, you're going to go through it. So you either are going through it, you've been through it, or you're about to go through it. Right. Because of our age group, people.
And I think people think that just throw in the towel and like, I've gained 30 pounds, it's all around my middle, and I'm just going to.
Who cares?
Because there's nothing. And I'm like, no, you just don't understand that if you eat what you're supposed to eat and you work out every day, you're going to have this much and it's going to go this much. I mean, I have like one hot flash a night, maybe, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I'm not taking anything. I'm just, so anyway. All right. So we want to stop the recording?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yay. Thank you.